Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of the crazy stuff going on around the globe right now. It's looking a little crazy, almost like a World War III might pop off. These Chinese spy balloons and all sorts of weird shit going on.
Yeah,
So,
Ukraine, Russia.
yeah. So today, we're going to talk about like the potential for an all-out nuclear war. Just Russia, China, someone launching it. What we think could possibly go down. Obviously, all speculation, but
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's like a fallout scenario. Or
yeah, yeah. It's everyone always talks about World War III about to happen, and it's looking. This is one of those times, and
it's got to be the closest we've ever been
yeah.
since the Cold War.
Oh yeah.
Like,
This is it. I mean, the very first scenario, the part of the scenario that you need for World War III to happen, the very first part
mhm.
where Russia gets into like a war with somebody. That's
Yeah, but we're always at war. Like we're always doing wars. But like the thing is, like they flew that hypersonic missile over us. We didn't detect it. Now they've got spy balloons over our nuclear facilities. Like they can watch our nuclear bases from space with satellites. But why do you need to get so close to the base that like what intelligence are you gathering where you need a balloon? It's weird that we didn't detect them. That's super weird to me, at least. Like they're
yeah.
gigantic. They're like 200 feet tall, 200-foot tall balloons. But either way, like why are you pushing the limits that much? Like you're going into our airspace. We're probably going to figure out where it's from. I mean, we did, but I'm saying like they should know that we're probably going to figure that out.
Yeah,
You're
dude.
really pushing. You're
Well,
poking the bear.
Well,
Say so.
it looks like they're teaming up with Russia. I don't think China's going to do any kind of
I think we're close. I think we're.
nuclear stuff. I think it's going to be all Russia. China will let Russia do all the dirty work if it happens.
Yeah, I sort of agree with that.
And the scenario that's commonly played out is
China's going to attack us, though. I think Russia would never. They're never going to leave like Europe. They're not going
no,
to come over
they're not
here.
going to leave. They're not going to do that. But what's going to happen is they're going to something's going to happen over there in Ukraine. Let's say they start losing in the Ukraine.
I think it's set up to like look like a loss, so they can
They're
sort
not.
of throw. I don't. It's not their main army,
Well, they're not going to lose.
right?
In Ukraine.
They'll never back down.
So they won't back down. So if they do start losing, they're just going to nuke. And then if they nuke, we're going to nuke them. And then it's going to
Oh,
ping
dude, it's
pong
gonna be
back and forth.
crazy. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
thing is, we have a lot of leaders in charge of nukes right now that are on their like they're either sickly or they're on their last years or losing their minds, something like that. Like Putin, uh,
Who's they say has cancer.
right? They say he doesn't have much time left. He's way past the average life expectancy of a Russian, which whatever doesn't mean much. He's basically royalty. Then you have Xi Jinping, who's just talking mad crazy shit about tons of countries, Australia, mainly America, but like
Yeah.
he's gonna just decimate anyone that gets in his way. He's gonna take back Taiwan. There's that.
Yeah.
Our leader is a little senile himself.
Yeah. He
I
doesn't
don't
know
think
what
he
he's
would do it
doing.
out of anger. He would just like I don't.
Well, he's not in charge.
That's what I was gonna say. Like who? They all say that these leaders have like a button in their command where they can just push it. And it's just gonna launch nukes. But
Yeah.
most of our nukes are in that are like ready to launch are in submarines. It's a lot of them. A lot of them aren't even launch capable right now. But those submarines have to get to like 50 feet of the surface or something. They have to get really close to the surface to launch. They can't just be like, you can't just push a button and it's going to communicate with a sub underwater and it's just going to launch. Like you could do the intercontinental ballistic missiles that are like in Montana and shit, but then that's a long flight and it's every country's going to know about it as soon as you launch.
Yeah. I mean, if a nuclear
So-
war happens, it's not going to be a surprise. There, a bunch. No, it won't. A bunch of events will happen the weeks before that where if you're
You don't think China's just going to like just
no.
they've got so that's another thing. China has this one for the first time, maybe for the first time, but they have this window of opportunity that's closing of hypersonic missiles. We can't detect them or stop them.
They're not going to why even bother? They're already beating us.
You think they're just in it for the long game?
Yeah, they're just letting Russia. They're teaming up with Russia because they know if Russia gets taken, they're next.
Russia's not going to get taken. I think they're in on it. I think those two are collaborating. Like this is like a chess game, and we're
I don't-
treating it like checkers.
I don't think Russia's going to get taken, but I mean, Russia's going to, if they do lose in the Ukraine, which I don't know if they're winning or losing, it's hard to tell because we're getting a one-sided story.
Right.
But
Yeah,
let's say they
there's-
do lose. They're going to use nukes. They will use nukes.
So you saying like lose taking over Ukraine, or that Ukraine pushes into Russia?
Yeah, like NATO and America, we start dropping troops over there.
Oh,
They're going to
well,
be like,
oh,
dude, we
yeah.
can't stand against these guys. We're getting pushed back. Okay, screw it, nuke them. They're gonna nuke,
Yeah, definitely.
and it's not
I
going to be
mean,
anything too crazy. They're just going to use nukes over in Europe. It'll be a couple of nukes, but then we'll respond with a couple of nukes. Then they'll respond.
they're going to make a statement. I don't think it's going to go back and forth. I think it's going to be all
Oh,
out.
it'll definitely go back and forth. That's
Because
the
then
number
they're
one
going to lose.
scenario.
They'll lose if that happens.
They're in it to win it, dude.
Yeah, but they're gonna lose. Like if you
They're
go
gonna
back
lose
and forth,
anyway.
you either strike hard. It's shock and awe. Like every recent war has done that. Like you either go fast and hard, or you're gonna get.
Well, that's
We'll
the only
push-
way a worldwide nuclear thing's going to happen.
You shoot 10 nukes to us, and we shoot 500 back at them. We just won. We're just gonna wipe you off the fucking planet.
Maybe we'll just bend the knee, dude, and give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It would be weird though. The aftermath, I think, is like what everyone looks forward to. Is like what would happen
Yeah.
after the nukes, because that's
why-
another.
That's what I'm saying. You would have a warning. China's not going to let loose any nukes at all, unless we nuke them first. You know, and we're not going to.
Yeah, but they're doing so many weird things, like giving your troops
Steroids. and shit.
steroids is not a long term. It's something you do when like you need your troops.
Yeah, because they're going to take Taiwan.
You don't need all your troops to have that much. Like you don't need them to do that. That's like you're going for a big war. These troops are not sustainable. You can't be doing this for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like you're doing this for like a war's happening in 5 years. You're gonna bulk up your troops, make them like the cognitive effects. Is like, don't you lose some of your cognitive effects with steroids and stuff? Like you're not as smart.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't
not
know.
maybe not that, but if they're just doing testosterone, but
Yeah.
it's not something you want to sustain over time.
not-
And then,
No one's coming over here.
have you seen the war school at their schools, like their war classes they're putting these kids through?
Yeah.
Like they're
I've seen that.
disassembling guns in like
Guns.
middle school
Yeah.
and assembling them like on time. Like
Yeah,
it-
and then you see, I mean, if you just look at what our kids are doing over here, that's hilarious.
yeah, they're doing TikToks or shuffle dancing. It's cool.
Yeah.
They're ready.
Yeah.
They'll shuffle their way over to Europe.
Yeah. They'll cry.
They're
So
ready for
sad,
this.
dude.
They'll.
They're not ready for war.
Oh yeah,
dude.
they're ready, dude.
They're ready to
It's
be,
keeping them in
to
shape.
get whooped.
They're dyeing their hair like all different colors. It'll throw off the weapon tracking systems of the Chinese.
Yeah.
They can't track purple hair.
China's not going to do that.
Dude,
The only way that
China's gonna do it.
the only way that a world war is going to happen, like a nuclear war is going to happen, is like I'm saying, back and forth in Europe with Russia and NATO.
No.
Yeah, that's the way it's going to happen.
The thing is with Putin is he knows, and like a few
He
presidents have
said he's down.
threatened that,
He's
like-
down to kill himself and destroy the rest of the world if they
he
can't
said
win.
that?
He said it
Oh
multiple times.
shit! Well, I know the presidents of the United States have told him many times, like, "Hey, we know we're not just going to nuke your country. We know exactly where you're at all times.
Yeah.
We'll nuke your
Where
building you're
you're
in.
at, yeah.
We'll nuke it, and it'll be a ground detonation. Like I don't care how deep you are, it's going to get you.
Yeah.
You're going to get got.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
another thing.
He might just say, "Okay, well, fine."
Supposedly, and again, this is all just rumors, but supposedly China is already like has plans over there of like how they would disperse their people into the United States. Because a nuclear war is there's a lot of myths about it. Like you're not gonna just go. Nuclear winter's a big myth, and radiation fallout's a big myth. They're gonna do airbursts. Airbursts. Why would you do airbursts? Because they don't destroy. Well, they destroy everything, but they destroy a wider area because it's not just focused on one little area in the ground. It's like the max radius of the explosion, and then because it's in the air high up, like really high up, I'm talking like a few thousand meters. You don't have the nuclear fallout, the radiation, because it's not interacting with the ground, the soil. It's just interacting with whatever particles are in the air. So it's
You're saying it's not as
not as bad as everyone thinks.
severe as
Yeah.
I think it's gonna. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be or not.
Because you go to that nuclear like detonation simulator map thing,
Yeah,
and it'll show like it automatically goes to airburst mode because that's most likely what countries are going to use.
Yeah.
The only reason you do a ground burst is to go underground and
Yeah.
get bunkers. Like it's like the East Coast, all the politicians like DC,
yeah,
they're going to get ground detonations.
yeah.
I
Well,
think it's possible. I think it's very possible that we're going to have it within the next like 10 years.
yeah, I do too. But it's not. China's just not going to do it.
Who's going to do it then? You think
Russia's going to do
going
it.
to pop it off
Yeah, Russia will do it.
to Europe?
Russia, yeah, no, yeah, to Europe first, and then we're gonna react, and they're gonna be
We'd
like,
react?
oh yeah, we're definitely gonna react. We're gonna be like, oh, you set off 3 nukes in Western Ukraine. Oh yeah, get ready because we're gonna set off 3 nukes in your country,
Well,
and then they'll be like, okay, well here's 12 nukes for you. How about
it's a
that?
slippery slope because then China can react to that. Like, hey, this is like you're nuking the planet now. Like, we're going to step in,
Yeah,
and
they
we have
could.
that right because they've made some statements that are a little weird.
Yeah,
Like against Australia, saying how the I don't know if it's Geneva Convention, but whatever nuclear convention there is in the world, it's if you don't have nuclear weapons, you can't. Another nation with nuclear weapons can't use them against you. It's supposed to be how the rule. I mean, it's just
yeah,
written rules. But then China came out and they said that because you have nuclear powered submarines, Australia, that's technically a nuclear weapon because it's a nuclear powered military vehicle. So we're gonna treat you as if you have that's a nuclear weapon. We can nuke you now.
yeah. Well,
It's like, why would you make that statement?
sucks to be
Just
Australian.
a scare tactic to like
Yeah, maybe just
to like
letting people know,
to
saber
mess
rattling.
up their. Yeah.
I wonder if China will follow, because Russia's plan for nuking America, right?
Well, remind me.
I'm sure China's gonna be the same. They hit all the military bases first in America
Repeatedly.
with nukes, and then they pause, and
Right.
they basically go, okay, you
Are
don't
you-
have a military anymore.
Right. Are you going to keep going or do we have to wipe you?
Give up, and then our response would probably be
Well,
bad, and then the second part of that is they hit the top 30 most populated cities. So if you're living in or near one of the top 30 populated cities in the United States, you're
Yeah.
getting nuked.
well, I think this should be
And
said also,
the
though.
type of nukes that they're going to use, it's not just going to be one. It's almost like a school bus. It's like one missile that has like 10 nukes on it, and it bursts, and the nukes spread out. And
Yeah,
they
'cause
hit
I
one area,
think
like
what
a
is it?
cluster bomb of nukes.
Yeah, they're all pretty much clustered. I think the ones in the subs are Triton 2s. And mentioning that, like, yeah, China has hypersonic nukes that we can't track, but we invested in stealth nukes. They can't track our nukes either, and they do fly the same path. They're just not going Mach 8 or whatever China's doing, but they are stealth. Like they can't detect them.
Yeah.
And per the treaty, they're capable of holding 14 warheads on them, but we only keep them. I think it's like we're only allowed to have 7 or 8 warheads per our signed treaty.
Yeah.
I don't know who's tracking that, but we could up that real quick. But I want to say each nuclear submarine has something like 14 missiles on it, Trident 2s, and each of those has potentially 7 to 14 warheads on it. Like we have a lot of nukes in the ocean, and they're not tracking us. They can't track us very well. They're not tracking us, I don't think, at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think of the government says we have
So,
hypersonic nukes and all that. Maybe we do. Maybe we're lying about it, and maybe we don't have that.
Well, they're saying we don't, but we could. But
Yeah.
there's how I've always understood it
Just
is
'cause I
we
know.
invested in stealth. And
I know this. I know we had trouble shooting a balloon down last week or whatever, and so there's no way whoever shoots nukes at us, if you're hoping that we're gonna shoot nukes out of the sky and get some of them, like they'll shoot, let's say 1,000 nukes at us, and we're gonna get 300 of them out of the air, and there'll be a problem. There's no way. All 1,000 of those nukes are gonna hit us. They're not gonna hit one of those. Nukes, dude. Yeah, you have to assume the worst, dude.
I think we're going to hit a lot of them just based on what's going on in Ukraine. That our systems, our cheap systems in Ukraine, are like, and in Israel, the Iron Wall or whatever, they're hitting like 80% of the shit out of the sky.
Yeah, that's what they say.
But
That's what they say.
what was I going back? What were we just talking about? What's it? No, before that, our nukes in the submarines.
Yeah, nukes in the submarines.
I can't remember. I was
Nukes
gonna say
cluster bomb nukes.
I can't remember.
Well, anyway, if you're in any of the top 30 cities, so there probably will be signs before it happens, and that will be what's going on over in Russia. If anyone uses a nuke at any time first, whether it be Russia or us, it's time to get out of that city immediately. And then you're going to have to...
I think they're going to hit military bases first, though.
They'll hit military bases first, but you never know.
You never know.
I mean,
Well,
that's,
another
that's
thing
just
is
their official
Another thing
plan
is
from
most
the
military
90s.
bases are by a populated city to some extent, a big city. And
Yeah.
Russia at least is not known for accuracy. They're known for huge size and redundancy.
Yeah.
And even we have that plan. I know our plan is definitely hit that base with like, if there's a base like in China, hit it with like 10 nukes.
Yeah.
If they shoot down a few, whatever, but you want to obliterate. Like, there's no chance that something happens where it doesn't get nuked.
Yeah.
If that's the path you're going.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
You'll have some kind of sign, for sure. Probably not for sure, but I mean,
I think it's 50-50 on that, because I would assume
if anyone uses a nuke and you're living in Chicago, L.A., New York, even like Las Vegas, Miami, like if you don't leave that city immediately, you're dead.
You should look at how many bases are around you, because you bring up like
oh yeah, and you have to look wherever you're at. Just look where the bases are. Like where I'm at, I know where all the bases are at.
You're surrounded.
You're surrounded, and then, I mean, fallout is a thing. Radiation
is
a thing.
Well, there's a lot of like myths. Like, so talking about that, it's like, how many nukes did we detonate already? I think it's like worldwide, beyond like with all nations. I think it's like 2,000 nukes within like a 10-year span. And there was zero fallout.
No,
zero
nuclear fallout.
Well, pretty much.
No, there's places where they detonated bombs out in Nevada, out here in the desert, and it's like there's still radiation on the ground.
Yeah,
guys go out there with
but
Geiger counters, and it's if you stayed out there for a week, you would get cancer. You can visit there for like a few hours.
Yeah, but so how it would work out there is they would nuke, like without total accuracy. Like there's a nuclear test site, and then like Mercury Highway. If they accidentally nuked the highway, they would just repave around the rim of that crater and just continue as usual. Yeah. And just just drive around that crater. It's no big deal.
Yeah, and people die.
Yeah, they died. There all the time. But it wasn't like in a week. They died like 5-10 years later.
Yeah, you're gonna die from fallout, so it's a thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the whole thing of like nuclear winter, like it's gonna crush you like within a week, and it's just like this huge cloud taking over the planet.
It depends on how many nukes they use. If they use like a handful of nukes, like if they nuke all our biggest military bases and they don't do like the little BS little military bases that we have, then fine. Then whatever. We'll be okay. It'll still be bad. But if they nuke every military base, it's going to be crazy. There will be a ton of radiation. It's going to suck. People will be getting sick. People will have health problems.
Yeah, but I would assume, like I was saying before, some of those nukes are going to go a little off course just because guidance systems, whatever we have to jam them maybe. Something's going to, you've had to assume like 20% of those are just going to completely miss their target and like blow up somewhere random.
Yeah.
And potential, I mean, who knows? There's also the underwater ones. That's sort of scary.
Yeah. But I mean, if it goes down, the thing that we planned out already, that we already know just from talking about it for an extended period of time, is that you have to just have like a little bug out bag at least, the bare minimum.
Yeah.
So that you can leave.
Water.
And that thing should have water, food. You have to have to
water
protect yourself.
Just
don't be wearing camouflage and looking like you're in the military, because you're not scaring anybody away. People will see you and go, "Oh, this guy has a gun." If you're
and you're not really blending in either. It's
so
not
you want to
really
do the gray man thing they talk about, where it's like you just look like a hiker more than a military person or like a regular person. So don't get like a backpack with all those little Molly straps on it. Just get like a blue or a black or a green or gray backpack, just a regular like BS backpack. And then if you have a gun, don't be flaunting it. You know, if you have a rifle,
don't look military. Like, don't show anything tactical.
Don't show anything, because then people will see you and go, "Look, that guy has a."
Just want to slide through.
Yeah.
Be just like a fly on the wall, just a ghost.
Yeah, and then have, if you can get it, and then once you get the very basics of stuff, which is like a weapon and food and clothes. What else?
I would say just stay away from people. Get your shit. Get to
stay away. Be ready for
find
your
a
car
water
not
source.
to work.
The scary part is you don't know where the radiation is. There's some people that say, like, I've seen some guys on some YouTube channels show like scientists that have like radioactive material like in drawers, like containers and stuff, and they show where they take off like the lead, that's like thick lead foil, like their cell phone camera gets really fuzzy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a definite, it's something to know about, but
yeah.
I mean, who has a Geiger counter? No one.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you could
eventually,
be driving into your death and not even knowing
eventually you could get a Geiger counter if you're that worried about it. But I mean, just try to pre-plan a route and be prepared for your phone not to work,
it. Right.
and just be prepared to.
I'd say have a hand crank radio or something, just so you can possibly get updates if they're even there. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
and then just stay away from people because people are gonna be maniacs.
Don't go, and that's another thing. Don't go far. I would say, because you're just running the chance of getting into like an ambush type of situation.
Yeah, well, it just depends on where you're at. I mean, if you're in Southern California,
you know-
there's military bases in a huge city, and the wind blows your way. Well, that's just so much radiation that you're gonna want to shoot yourself in the head about 3 weeks into it. You're gonna be you're gonna look like freaking what's his face, Sloth from
I knew you were going.
Goonies.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go there.
You're gonna be melted, and then you're gonna be like, I can't. Oh my god! All your hair and teeth are gonna fall
That
out.
happens, and I mean, it is what it is.
But so there are places you can go. I mean, if you're in Canada, I wouldn't worry about it too much. They're gonna
No
get
one's
nuked.
attacking Canada.
They're gonna get a couple of nukes lobbed at them. But I mean, basically,
Like 4.
wherever the
I don't even
cities
think they're
are,
going to get nuked. Honestly,
they might get. They're gonna. Just
they're going
throw a
after
couple
us
at 'em.
hardcore.
Oh yeah.
We're like target number 1.
Oh yeah.
By far. Like we're getting probably of the potential like enemies of the U.S. We're getting like 80% of their nukes, if not more.
Oh yeah.
UK's going to get some.
Yeah.
Australia might get a few just because
Europe's gonna be
Europe's going to be a nightmare.
destroyed. America will be a nightmare too.
Oh, dude, what about Kim Jong Un? He could start this.
He might lob one too, dude.
I don't even-
Hawaii's doomed. I wouldn't want to be living in Hawaii. They got military base all over it.
Dude.
It's just like it's just gonna get its pants nuked.
Do you remember
off.
when they had that the accidental
Yeah.
nuke scare? That
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah, they did everyone.
They said someone accidentally hit
Yeah.
the nuclear like warning system that went like island wide, like
Yeah.
statewide for all the Hawaiian Islands, and like hitting the radio, the cell phones are hitting
That's
alerts, like,
great.
beep, beep, like your
Yeah.
cell phones, like alarms going off, all the TV stations, like there is a nuclear missile
Yeah, dude.
coming into the island
I
within
can't-
minutes.
yeah.
Like this is not a drill.
Yeah.
Prepare, like it's like all this warning
And
stuff.
then you know what people
People are
did?
committing suicide. People were robbing people. People were like kayaking into the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, people were doing the wrong thing. A bunch of people ran out to the beach, and like to get away, just because
Yeah.
they didn't want to get caught in buildings or something. And it's like that is the worst thing to do because even if the blast doesn't kill you, you're gonna get your skin melted off because what happens is when the bomb goes off, it becomes hotter than the sun within like a what
The fireball area.
it's just becomes so hot your skin melts off, but you'll live.
If you can get away
At a
from
certain distance.
yeah, it's
Where
for
they're at by the
Hawaii,
beach,
though, it's just
where
so
they're
small.
where a lot of people are at the beach,
You're
dude,
fried.
Dude, you're hurting. You're not even dead yet. Your skin's melted off. You're screaming. You look like a monster.
Dude.
Whereas the person in the
Maybe
same,
they're thinking, well, what about
whereas
this,
a
though?
per-
What about
where-
this,
Whereas,
though?
hold on, it was like a person in the same distance, the same area, that was inside a building when that happened is fine, but you were outside and you got hit with that heat. You're
Well, that
just
heat doesn't
toasted.
last that long. How long is that
Just a
heat?
second.
A second? Just go underwater.
But
You can hold your breath for 3 minutes.
well, I'm
2
saying
minutes.
the people on the beach. I don't know if
They're
going
on the
under
beach.
water
Just
would
jump
do
in the water.
I'm saying they all stood out on the beach though, waiting for it to happen because they didn't want to get.
Well, yeah, but maybe they're thinking they're going to see something come in, like, hey, this is it. This is happening. Let's run out into the water. I don't know. Maybe that's what they were thinking.
Yeah, well, it's too late then. It would
Well, I
happen
mean,
once
dude,
a
it's
bit-
too late no matter what. You're on an island. Like, okay,
Yeah.
it blows up. The whole place is radioactive. Where are you going? Like, you're not, like,
Yeah.
okay, you have to come back to the land. You can't just sit in the water.
Where they're probably going to get in boats and swim off some side.
But people were committing, like, I think a few people committed suicide from that.
Yeah.
Like, it was so I guess what happened is someone actually bumped a button at somewhere and it set off all these warnings. It's
That's
like
great, dude.
that's all it takes. There's no like
It's great to see how people would have.
there's
died
no like
that
turn
day.
2 keys at the same time.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like there's just like like I accidentally hit the light switch. Oh god.
What's this do over here on this laptop? Just
Hawaii is like just going into pure chaos right now.
Just don't hit that red button. Hit the red button. No, don't, God.
You ever watch like Rick and Morty where it's like flip
Yeah.
the left switch? And you're like flip, flip, flip. And he's like, I distinctly heard you flip and then unflip a switch and then correctly flip the left switch. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, dude.
It's like killed everybody in like some warehouse. Well,
Yeah, so that's it. If it goes down, you might know about it. I mean, you might not. And if the only thing you can do is take some precautions, which isn't a lot. You're probably going to die anyway, but you never know. You might survive.
The after effects can be crazy.
After effects will be bad.
Because it's gonna be like a wasteland. People are just like marauding and just like
yeah, and you don't have a
forming
bunker.
bands.
If you do have a bunker,
Like-
don't let anyone know about it because they're going to just
Well, yeah.
after a couple of weeks and their teeth start falling out, they're going to come banging on your door and be like, "Let me in, or I'll
Yeah,
kill you."
that'd be so awesome to have a bunker.
But I mean,
That would be
there's
awesome.
stuff you could do to your house. You could. The only problem is the radioactive dust, and you know,
It gets everywhere.
It gets
Just don't
everywhere.
Get it on your butt. Like,
allegedly after 2 weeks, the radiation.
I would almost
levels
say if
would
you
go
think
down
it's
a lot.
about to go down, just shave your body. Because your hair picks up all that dust. Like, you know, they're like washed constantly.
Yeah.
Don't let it. It's the particles that are radioactive. So don't let it like sit on your skin for too long.
Yeah,
It's not gonna. If you wash it right away, you're fine. But
if you have a mask, you're gonna have to wear it 24/7 for a few weeks.
yeah, it's the only thing in your
You're
lungs.
only gonna take it off just to eat food real quick. And then, of course, you know all the things that if you look them up online, you can't cook fires, can't use wood because that just burns up. That creates a lot of radiation.
Yeah.
You can't just so it's just
Well-
be ready to eat canned food. You're not going to be able to prepare food.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more in another video. I would like to talk about like the after effects of what could happen after the nukes wipe out civilization if it's just like
Total
worldwide.
chaos.
Yeah, just worldwide. Like we're living in fallout.
Yeah,
Like radioactive like wolves running around, just like bands of like
total psychos.
just gangs of like yeah, whatever you want to call them.
Just doing complete Genghis Khan style behavior.
Yeah, dude, it would go to dark ages within like 10 years. We'd be annihilating each other.
Yeah,
Like in the
true.
countries, like your own people, like not like within countries, like you would just be stealing, pillaging, destroying everything. It's just how humans are.
yeah, it'd be brutal.
But I think that's gonna wrap up this one. Yeah, we'll definitely get into another one. We'll talk about more about this. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, there's just everything going on right now worldwide. It's getting a little crazy.
Yeah,
Little crazy.
hopefully it goes down, dude. That would be pretty sweet.
I think it would. I think it'd be sweet because we've all played like games or watched movies like that, but it would probably be hell on. It would be like it would be hell on earth,
Oh,
dude.
it
would
be-
suck
it would
so
be
bad.
Horrific.
It'd be cool for like a few months. You don't have to work, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, we'll get into that in another one. But that's gonna wrap up this video. So if you guys like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you didn't, leave some comments. But see you on the next one. Laters.